Welcome to Black Girl Say Something, where this black girl has something to say. And I'm going to just get right into it. It's been a pretty eventful week. I think the last time I got on here and chatted with y'all, the weekend coming into the new week was going to be super busy. My daughter, I want to congratulate her because I know she be listening to Black Girl Say Something. Congratulate her on passing the written portion of her lifeguard exam, her certification, and then she has the physical portion that she has to do coming up. And so I just look forward to all of the amazing things that she has going on, and I watch her in awe. And she doesn't know, or maybe she does know. She knows, y'all. I'm her biggest fan. Like, I'm her biggest cheerleader. I'm in the stands. If I could sell, if she was hosting something at a stadium, I would buy out all the tickets so I could be there. Okay. And so going into the week, it's been really eventful, really busy, really just, recentering, refocusing, reclaiming my energy, my time, my space. And I kind of wish more people understood that the time to get to know me, like the inception of getting to know me, and then me not even existing as part of you knowing me, is very limited. I like to think of the seasons, right? Every season, there's 4 seasons. The seasons typically last a few months. I like to think of me in that way. I'm very seasonal. I'm very, here for the moment, and that's it. Just leave you with some gems and move on to the next thing that I have going on. But I'm also, because summer is coming, and not in the way like people are like, I want to have a ball, I want to have a good time. I truly do. I want to have a great time with my children. I want to enjoy them. I want them to enjoy the summer. I want to take time for myself. I want to renew, refresh. I want to cross off some things off my bingo card. Y'all, I didn't look at it yet, but I'm going to look at it as we are coming into the end of this month. I have not crossed anything in particular off my bingo card in a while. And I know we're coming out of the 5th month, going into the 6th month of the year. And I'm like, maybe the summer is when I'll get a lot of things crossed off, very bucket list esque, right? But with that being said, I was having a conversation and I was talking about how I I always big up myself, highly educated, overqualified black woman here. And I just want to be in the midst of people who are on their own path, their own trajectory. That when it comes to collaboration, when it comes to interactions, I just want to be able to, you know, have people around. And I think, let me back up a little bit. When we're putting out what we want from people into the universe, into our prayers, into just being able to ask for help, we also have to determine, is this actually helping or is it hurting? Is the help actually listening, or is the help being aware or cognizant, if you will, of the fact that the help is not really helping? And so, over the course of the last couple of days, I've been telling y'all this, last couple of weeks, if you will. I'm in the job hunt, but not really. I'm looking, I'm applying, but nothing is coming to pass. And I termed it um, job search fatigue. I've been really getting fatigued from the job search because, again, the type of work that I do in this current political climate is not necessarily one that is forthcoming with the type of work and research that I do. So much so, I received an email from one of the grants that I was writing on once upon a time, where they're, hosting a town hall meeting to talk about how they're moving forward with the recall of like DEI and banned words. Like, there's a whole thing. Like, I don't think, if you're not in the field and if you're not reading the articles and if you are not keeping yourself abreast and if it doesn't really affect you, you don't know how deep some of this stuff go, right? And so that is where I'm at, and it's creating some financial strife for me. And so anytime that I would have to apply to a job, I just get so overwhelmingly exhausted. But over the last couple of days, a young lady, one of my mutuals on TikTok, she sent me one job, and I was like, Oh, here we go again. And I was like, here we go again. And I opened it and I was like, oh my God, I hope I get this job. I haven't felt that in a long time. And I'm not going to say that long. I haven't felt that in a while. And the reason being is because I'm somebody who, people who have not been out of work as long as me, their job advice is not helpful. And I know everyone wants to think they're being helpful, but it's not helpful, right? Because the reason why it's not helpful, because if you've been out of work as long as me, you would understand that the bills are piling up, and eventually there won't be any job to get me out of the hole that has now been created due to the lack of consistent income. Even with me reducing the amount of services in my business and hosting a 65% off eyewear sale, that has not even gotten me close to meeting my goal financially. So, and then also too, you don't want to hear, I don't want to hear, in God's timing, because if that was the case, got to be optimistic here and got to be realistic here. If that was essentially the case, there would be some sort of program that's going to come through for me and say, you know what? We'll cover your mortgage for the next 6 months while you continue to look for work. Every program is designed to not necessarily help. That's what I've been finding. Every program that I have diligently put my best foot forward to get involved with has not necessarily yielded any good fruit. And so, because of that, and this is not anything to, these conversations don't have to be had with the people who quote unquote think they're helping, because it's not their situation to understand. So here I am, this young lady sends me a job, and I was just like, oh, here we go. And I look at it and I read the job description, and I actually wrote her back. I was like, thank you so much, because you don't understand how fatiguing the job hunt has been. And it's not even just the fatigue of it all, it is the fact that because I possess a special set of skills, hard skills, soft skills, and clinical alike, research alike, I don't know what job titles to even look for. And so the reality is, there are people, who seem to be in my corner, but it's like, if I say I don't want to do that, I genuinely just don't want to do that. And I can say that because as somebody who had put themselves in a position to do any type of job, it honestly does not work out in my favor. So if it's something that's going to require me to get extra help with my children, I can't do it. And I know there's a job out there that's going to allow me to do what I need to do necessary for my children, not take me away from them, and not have me trying to figure out how they're going to get to school and how they're going to get home from school and how they're going to get to their activities. Like, how crazy is that? As a mom, trying to have these conversations with people who are not parents, they don't get it. And so I'm really just observing, right? As the plot thickens for me, what I got going on, what I'm doing, what I want to relate to, what I want to put out there in the social media world, what I want to, bring peace to the community that I inspire. It just requires me to sometimes step back, so I can see, because sometimes we go into things with tunnel vision. Tunnel vision doesn't give you that peripheral vision, right? Y'all know I work in vision care, so go here with me. Having tunnel vision means you're not able to look to the left or the right. I want to be able to have a a more wide view of things. So I step back so I can see what is really for me and what's not for me. So she sent me the job. I applied to it. I'm hoping I get it. But then she sends me like three more jobs. And I applied to those three more jobs. And I was not exhausted. And I was like, it's because these are jobs I actually want to do. These are jobs that actually will pay me what I'm asking for. Right? Even with their max is past my max. So I'm telling them my max because I know I'm going to be within their budget, right? And I also calculate, my future lifestyle, right? My future increases to things like the mortgage, the water, the lights, like everything is constantly going up. So the trajectory has to be, it can't be a minimum wage job. Come on, y'all, I got a doctorate. Like giving me these little, like, the help is there, but it's not there. And it's like, we have to get to a place to recognize, maybe this is not my ministry. Maybe I'm not helping, and step away. And that's okay. And that's okay. I get it. Right. but also being in a place to collaborate effectively with people who have their own thing already. I think that is where I'm at right now. As the summer is coming, I am open to collaborations. I'm open to speaking engagements. I'm open to all of these different things that I genuinely like to do. They're profitable for me, because I'm only open to profitable opportunities. I'm no longer lending out services as it relates to me consulting. I consult a lot of people on a daily. I consult a lot of people on a daily. And I don't think people recognize it as consulting because they will take it as if it's a casual conversation. But if I really start invoicing the people that I consult daily, whether it be giving ideas, whether it be giving um uh strategic planning, like all of these things, it's not cheap. And also too, it's costing me brain power. And when I use a lot of brain power, I burn a lot of calories. And when I burn a lot of calories, I got to eat more. And when I got to eat more, I got to shop more, grocery shop more. I got to cook more. So I'm just really reevaluating. I guess we'll just call this episode Step Back and Reevaluate. Step back and reevaluate what it is that you actually want. What are the goals even aligning? Are the efforts, the collaborative efforts aligning? Are they really showing true to the goals that I have set forth? Because I find myself being in a place where people will say, hey, I want to collaborate with you. And it's for their greater good, right? But you are reaching out to me to collaborate with me. So it should be for my greater good. Case in point, earlier last year, I can't even remember exactly when it was. Um, yeah, it would have been maybe late last year. I met a lady at a networking event. I haven't even told this story before. I met a lady at a networking event, and she had just moved here from LA, and she was letting me know she's a photographer and she's a videographer, as well as no, she's a cinematographer. What differs a videographer from a cinematographer is the cinematic, like it's very much like how they put it together, how they make it look. And so she had showed me her portfolio and some commercials she's worked on with Toyota and like all of these different big brands, that I think she even did like a Movado commercial. So she's a cinematographer. And so when I told her what my business was, before she told me what she did, I'm at this networking event because I told y'all last year I went to 33 networking events. So I went to that one. That was one networking event that I went to, and I was just like, oh, okay. I see, I'm going to these networking events. I'm telling people about my business. And because she had newly just moved here, she just was kind of scoping the scenery out. But we got to talking. And when my younger sister was with me, the youngest one, who is a content producer, they got to talking. And that's how we found out this lady was a cinematographer. Long story short, she was like, I want to collaborate with you because I have this idea and da 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 da. So I'm like, all right, cool. Let's set up a meeting. Me, you, and my sister. Let's set up a Zoom. We'll talk about, run some ideas by each other, and see where it goes. Now, oftentimes when you are doing these collaborative things, the person who wants to collaborate with you don't realize like these things cost money. Paying for the studio costs money. No, they know. I'm not gonna say they don't realize. But paying for the studio costs money. Paying the content producer costs money. Paying for the space, the props, whatever, the models, all of that costs money. So when we are doing something that is a promo collab, it you have to word it in such a way so that people know that this is one that is going to be beneficial not only to whatever brand that you're collaborating with, but also to the models, right? It is going to be free. When I first did a shoot where I required a model, I was able to compensate that model. The first time I did that. When I consider where I am now or where I was then, this was like maybe November, December, I was not able to compensate those models. So when this lady said, I know some people, we can get them together, we can do this, we can do that. She said she wanted to collaborate with me with the eyewear brand. She had an idea, she had a plan, she had a call sheet and all of these things. Here's where the plot twisted, because now she's talking about we got to pay the models and we got to pay her and we got to do this and she needs to do this. And so I was like, is this going to be about eyewear or is this going to be about what you want it to be? Because again, if you are using me to help build your portfolio, it also has to benefit me. You see where I'm going? So this is one of those interesting things where I don't talk about it often, but in the sense that I'm starting to gain such a following. Like I've always had a following, right? But every to know me is to know that every evolution of me is going to gain a new set of following, a new set of collaboration, a new level of collaboration. While I can sit here and tell you, yes, I've created professional development courses that I'm teaching now in the doctorate. I have courses that I created in my master's that I'm perfecting now that I have my doctorate. I have courses I created in my bachelor's that I'm now perfecting in the doctorate. I have business plans and strategic plans that I created in my associates that I am now perfecting. Now I have a doctorate, because having a doctorate means I have solutions, and enacting those solutions, I want to be able to get the right people to collaborate with. So now fast forward to where, again, I'm taking these need assessment calls at least a couple times a week, because I put it out there and I really want effective, goal oriented collaborations, and one that are beneficial to me. I'm no longer collaborating with people where it's more beneficial to them than it is to me, because how is that even fair if I'm the talent, right? If I'm the one that you reach out to collaborate with. I always look at it that way. If I reach out to people to collaborate with them, I always am, and I don't know if it's the Libra in me, I don't know what it is in me, the businesswoman in me, whatever. Maybe it has nothing to do with zodiac and everything to do with principle. But if I reach out to somebody, I am always very um I'm highly sensitive to the fact that I need this. I need you to understand that this is going to benefit you just as well as it's going to benefit me. But it always seems like when it's on the other foot for me, people reach out to me and collaborate with me, and then it ends up being more of a benefit to them. And I'm just like, no, that's not how that works. So, it's going to get to a point where I'm probably going to be like, I'm so easily turned off that I will just not collaborate for a year and then be like, you know what, now I'm back collaborating with people, because I do that. So, with that being said, yeah, I think that's what we're going to do going forward. Again, y'all know, I said I'm only doing things that benefit me. And in doing that, it has created a better space for me to thrive mentally, a better space for me to thrive socially, and just a better space for me to maintain and keep my boundaries. So, if something resonated with you, share this with at least one person. Remember, Black Girl Say Something airs an episode every Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, wherever you listen to podcasts. And while you're listening to this, just check out the links in the description of this episode. Subscribe to our YouTube, follow us on TikTok, like us on Facebook. And if you want more exclusive content where this Black girl has even more to say, head over to Patreon. And I thank you for listening.